Hello everyone, it's Karen, welcome to another video. Now today I'm going to do something a little bit different, something I've been thinking about doing for a while. Today I'm going to show you all the vinyl I have acquired so far of Elvis Presley. Now I know I've seen a few people do these sort of videos on YouTube, and that sort of made me think I would want to do something similar for my channel. So I'm going to show you all the Elvis Presley singles I've acquired, and all my Elvis Presley albums as well. As you can see, I'm wearing a Roy Orbison t-shirt, and that is because today is the anniversary of Roy Orbison's passing, so I'm wearing my Roy t-shirt, but I'm doing an Elvis video, so... But anyways, Elvis, in terms of Elvis Presley, for me, for years I was never a huge Elvis Presley fan. There were songs by him I did like, nonetheless, but that never meant I was like never a big fan. I never disliked them. That didn't mean I disliked them or anything. I did like him, just wasn't as huge as some people were. So for a while I would just listen to greatest hits and buy greatest hits albums because they would all that do me. But then earlier this year I went to see the film Elvis with Austin Butler playing Elvis Presley, and I really enjoyed it, and I went to see it twice when it came out in the summer this year. And for me, my re-interest in Elvis was reignited again, because I'd liked him years ago, but I sort of lost interest over the years. But now I'm a big Elvis fan again, and pleased to say that I've acquired quite a bit of vinyl in like these last few months. There's some I bought from years ago, but others I've sort of got recently. So I'm going to show you the 45s first. The Peace in the Valley EP with There'll Be Peace in the Valley, It Is No Secret What God Can Do on one side, and on the other side we have I Believe and Take My Hand Precious Lord. This is 1957. It's Now or Never. I'm still missing a lot of Elvis singles, but I'm trying to locate them eventually. With Make Me Know It, RCA, Rockahula Baby, with Can't Help Falling in Love. I actually prefer that side, to be honest. Crying in the Chapel, I Believe in the Man in the Sky, The Wonder of You, and Mama Like the Roses, 1970. I've got two new ones I haven't shown yet. They'll be in the next final update, but I'll still show them here anyway. My Boy and Loving Arms. Moody Blue with She Thinks I Still Care, both from the Moody Blue LP. Don't Be Cruel to a Heart That's True and Hound Dog. This is taken from the 56 Sessions Volume 1 EP. LP, sorry. Need to try and get hold of that album, which we'll do eventually. Now I'm going to go over the albums. So the first one I have is his self-titled debut, Elvis Presley, originally from 1956. A pretty good album. I really enjoyed this album. I like Blue Suede Shoes, I Got a Woman, Tutti Frutti, Trying to Get to You, Blue Moon. Really good album. It's got I'm Going to Sit Right Down and Cry Over You on it as well, which the Beatles did on their Live at the BBC sessions. So cool to have. This copy isn't an original from 1956. This is a 1983 repressing. It's got a different picture on the back. The original was this photograph and liner notes. In the UK over here, it was called Rock and Roll, and it appeared on the HMV label. But this is I think the US track listing, and it's on RCA, like the original US pressings were. I can't exactly remember the exact track difference between this and the UK version in 1956, but I haven't really done too much research into these records as I've done with the Beatles and stuff like that. But still cool to have. There's a lot of new ones I've recently acquired that have yet to appear on my channel, but they're going to appear in the next final update as well, but I'll show them here anyway. This is Elvis's Christmas album. Makes sense because we're now nearly in Christmas. Mono, but this is it's a 1980 re-release on the RCA International label. Quite nice to have though. I really like Santa Claus is Back in Town, White Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas, his version of Silent Night, and There'll Be Peace in the Valley as well, and Take My Hand Precious Lord. So it's like half Christmas and sort of half gospel sort of material. There's a back cover, and it's on this green International RCA International label. I'll show it in my next final update when I do that. That's one I've recently picked up. I have picked up some new Elvis Presley ones since the last final update. I will point that out. Got one just called Elvis, but I think in America it's also called For LP Fans Only. It's quite a nice picture of Elvis in the front, nice cover. The back, it's a photograph of him in the army. The songs are on the front. We've got That's Alright Mama, that's a great one. That was his first record he made on Sun Records. Blue Suede Shoes as well. The rest... Oh, Money Honey, that's from the first album. But the rest I'm not too sure about. Yeah, I'll need to kind of hear them, but it's on the RCA label. Now, there's still a lot of Elvis albums I'm missing, but I'm trying to eventually get hold of them all. I'm going to try and complete my Elvis Presley studio collection with both like the soundtracks and the studio albums. GI Blues, this is a mono. Yep, mono, 1960. I actually just bought the DVD of this film. I haven't heard the film or the soundtrack album, but I do know a couple of songs. I know Wooden Heart on here and Blue Suede Shoes. Seems to be my first 2 or 3, the first few records show have Blue Suede Shoes on that one. Must have been a very popular song amongst the Elvis catalogue at that point. This is original from 1960. I found this amongst my aunt's records on RCA. I found this amongst my aunt's, my great aunt's records, because my aunt's now in a care home. My dad and I were just going through her stuff, and Dad said, "Oh, you could just take your records if you like." So I took the Elvis ones, no surprise, because I was just kind of getting into Elvis at the time. So that was one that I found, as was this one, His Hand in Mine, which is a really nice cover. Another mono from 1960. I really like that picture of Elvis at the piano. It's a really nice cover shot of him. And that's the Peace in the Valley EP, which I've got. In fact, some of these tracks do appear, I think, on the album. Yeah, I Believe the Man in the Sky does, I think. The rest I kind of don't know. I'll need to kind of listen to this album to figure it out. But it's on RCA Victor. Standard black vinyl. Some of these ones aren't in... These two Elvis ones are in quite not so great shape, but then again, they did come from my aunt's record collection. They are like 60, more than 60 years old, but they're nice to have as collectors, because they do sell for quite a lot, these Elvis records. Okay, now I've got 2 copies of this album, Blue Hawaii. This one I was given in 2013 by family friends. It's got the name on it, Brian Revel, in the back. It's a mono copy of Blue Hawaii. I know Can't Help Falling in Love and Rock-a-Hula Baby from the single and compilation albums. Aloha, oh, Johnny Cash done that on his last Americans album, the American 6 album. The rest, I, again, need to hear the album. The cover's in actually okay condition, it's not too bad, but the thing with this one is the vinyl. The inner sleeve is really tatty, and as you can see it's torn. Need to put some tape on it, but the vinyl on this is in pretty rough shape. It's warped, so it may not play well. And it's also quite scratchy, and it's a bit hard to see, but it is quite warped, and it is pretty hard to see, but it is warped. So yeah, I need to put this back in very carefully. So there's that one, Blue Hawaii by Elvis. And another copy of Blue Hawaii, this is from my aunt's collection. Cover on this one's a bit rough shape because the corner's missing, but it was free, so I would figure that I would just take it. And this one, the record's in pretty rough. There's a big mark across there, so it might not play as well, but it was free. I'll probably get a nice sort of upgrade of this album eventually, and probably give this one off to charity or something, because it would be quite nice to somebody's Elvis collection. Still missing quite a lot of movie soundtracks, because there were a lot of movies made between the period of 1961 and 1968. Well, it started with Love Me Tender in 1956-7, and then we've got a lot to get through. I don't have them all yet, but I'm still working on them. But we skipped to 1966's Spin Out. This has got quite a nice cover. Nice, I like Elvis's sort of jacket in this one. It's a really nice picture, really nice cover. This one is a US pressing. In the US, it was called Spin Out, but over here in the UK, it was called California Holiday. And this is the American version. I don't know too many of the songs on here. I know I'll Remember You, because that was on the Aloha Live from Hawaii album, and even at Madison Square Garden in '72 in the afternoon show, because he done that one. Here's the inner sleeve with all sorts of Elvis albums, some of which I don't yet own, but I'm still working on them. But some of the ones I've just shown you. Excuse me. Yeah, quite some interesting ones there. It goes up to the catalogue. Oh, it goes up to Moody Blues. I think this was just re-released after Elvis had passed, I think, in '77. I've done a bit of research on this one. It's on this RCA label. So it is a '77 reprint because it's on this label, and also it has like the catalogue in the inner sleeve of all the albums. Because I know after Elvis died, there was like tremendous demand on his on fans trying to get hold of his records, and I think RCA sort of re-released them all pretty quickly after Elvis's after his death. But it's nice to have it. It's in really good shape as well, really good condition. So yeah, one that I'm pleased to have. And it's a nice picture too on the cover. Next we get from Elvis in Memphis. I don't yet own the comeback special either. That's quite a hard one to find, but I'll still locate it. This one again, I really like the cover for this one. A lot of these Elvis ones have got really nice sort of covers to them. There's the back cover. I know In the Ghetto, that was a big hit. There's a version of Only the Strong Survive, which was a song by Jerry Butler, and Bruce Springsteen's just done that on his recent album. I'm hoping to review it on quite soon. Let me just try and take it out. This is quite a difficult one because you have to try you need to try and get it out from like the plastic sleeve, and it is a bit of a challenge. But here it is as a front. This is a stereo copy from 1969. Most of these Elvis ones are stereo. And there's the RCA label. Now we've changed labels. So yeah, really nice to find that one as well. This was like the period when Elvis sort of began to come back from like making movies, and then he went back to sort of live performances again. And I think this album's like a studio sessions that he'd done in Memphis. There's all the tracks there. So like studio sessions in Memphis. And then when he went back to touring in 1969, in the summer of 1969, he did a residency at the International, the first of many residencies in Las Vegas, a hotel called the International. And we get this album from it, Elvis, from Memphis to Vegas, or as it says here, in person at the International Hotel. Really nice cover again. Back, we've got one half of the album is the live Vegas show, and the other half's back in Memphis. So the other remaining songs are from Elvis and Memphis sessions. It's a gatefold sleeve, a double LP. And I've shown this one before. This is in my recent vinyl update. And it's a UK sleeve. The cover is made in UK because it's laminated, but the records themselves are made in Canada. So I'm not sure what that's about, but it's still a cool one to own, and it helps grow the Elvis collection as well. So a nice one to have, real nice front cover as well, and there's the back. Double LP from 1969. And this one I was given years ago, Elvis, You'll Never Walk Alone. This is a compilation of some of the older gospel songs that appeared on like the Peace in the Valley EP and the like His Hand in Mine as well, I think, but I'm not sure. I don't really know too much about this one, but it's got a nice cover, a picture of Elvis on stage from when he was like back touring. It's a mono on RCA Camden from, I think it's 70s. I think this one came out. 1971. It's on this sort of turquoise RCA Camden label. So that one. And next one is Elvis as recorded at Madison Square Garden. This is a live album of his 1972 Madison Square Garden concert, the Saturday evening performance. A really good live album. I really like this one. He does a lot of like good songs on here, a lot of like All Shook Up. That was one I don't think he'd done live. or Love Me as well. He even does a medley of Don't Be Cruel and Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear as well, which he would do in later live shows as well. I really like the version of Suspicious Minds. There's Hound Dog, the American Trilogy, Can't Help Falling in Love as well. A lot of great songs. I really like the cover of this one with Elvis with an acoustic guitar. This is a stereo version. These are all now stereo on RCA Victor. Real nice to have a great live one. And another live one to follow that one up is Elvis Aloha from Hawaii. Bought this fairly recently and I've also got this on DVD. Great show and a great live performance as well. This was like a big sort of concert that Elvis did in Hawaii in January of 1973, and it went out to satellite around the world, so pretty much worldwide, like the US, Europe, Australia, Japan, everywhere pretty much in the world. It's gatefold sleeve. It doesn't have like the insert with all the songs in it, so I'm just going to have to read them off from the label. We get CC Rider, which is great. He does a version of Beatles Something as well, which is great to see him do as well. Burn in Love, the version here is great as well. You Gave Me a Mountain, I really like. Nice song called... I like the version of My Way as well. The version of It's Over, not the Roy Orbison one, but it's a version of a different song called It's Over, but that's a good one as well. A lot of great ones here on the first half, and then on the second half. For just a minute, you get What Now My Love as well. Suspicious Minds as well is good as well. I really like the versions where he'll sometimes, if he does a stretch on stage, he'll say, "I hope this suit don't tear up, baby." That's quite funny to hear. And the version of I Remember You is great as well. And he does a medley of Long Tall Sally and a whole lot of shaking going on as well. The version of American Trilogy is probably the best live version of that song is on this album. And Can't Help Falling in Love as well is great as well. So a really great live album. I really enjoyed this live album and the live DVD as well, which is also great to watch. It was great to see Elvis because he was a kind of sort of great showman of his time as well. He wore like sequin jumpsuits, that kind of thing, and he had a great sort of charisma when he was on stage as well, which is one of the things that really made Elvis Presley who he was. And this is a new one, Elvis Commemorative Album. Now this is not the actual copy, that's the actual cover of the original version, but this is a limited edition version on gold vinyl, which is really cool. This is a new one that I'm going to show and talk about more in my vinyl update. But it's a double LP, and it is on gold vinyl, which is really cool. I think this was re-released in like the 70s after Elvis had died. They re-released this on a gold vinyl. It's really cool. I really like the fact it's on gold vinyl. And second LP is also the same, and that's also on gold vinyl. I'd never seen it before, so I just thought, I'll pick it up. So yeah, really nice to have that on gold vinyl. Pretty cool as well. So there's that one. Next is a fairly recent one, Raised on Rock. I previously I'd seen the cover. I didn't think I'd seen... My mum got me this when she was away in Suffolk just recently. And my mum and dad, and I didn't see this one before. I'd never seen the cover. So it was very interesting to see this one. And it's actually not a bad album. It's actually quite good. I really like the title track. Find Out What's Happening. I Miss You is a beautiful song. If You Don't Come Back. A lot of really great songs in here. This is 1973 as well. Take this one out. Inner Sleeve with Elvis catalogue on tape. It's cool to have that one. Inner Sleeve's a bit, sorry, need to get some tape for that. And this is a US pressing on RCA. Now, it says at the bottom, Dynaflex, and this is quite flimsy vinyl. But it actually sounds okay. It actually doesn't sound too bad. It sounded listenable when I played it in my upstairs bedroom stereo. It sounded okay. So, yeah, it sounds good. It's got two titles to it. Raised on Rock in the front and the back for Old Time's Sake. So yeah, really nice to have this one. A really great cover, really good album. I really enjoyed it. Raised on Rock. Next, another one I got from my aunt's house. Good Times. Don't know too much. Oh, My Boy in Loving Arms wrote this single. And he even does She Wears My Ring which Roy Orbison done on one of his albums back in the 60s. 1974, RCA in stereo. I should have put, they're all stereo. Nice to have that one. And this is quite a popular one and a very common one, and I'm sure loads of people have this in their collection. Elvis, 40 Greatest. My grandpapa gave me this record. This is one of the earliest records I owned. My grandpapa actually gave me this one. This came from their collection. Double LP on arcade. Pretty much just his hits on here, including 18 number ones. So yeah, really cool to have that. And on the inner sleeve you get his catalogue on RCA. I'll just show you one of the vinyls on arcade. So yeah, quite a popular one that I think that most people have in their collections, and yeah, cool to have. So yeah, really cool to have Elvis 40 Greatest Hits. Very common one. I'm sure that probably most people have that in their record collection. Got Elvis at the Movies, a compilation of his movie songs on the RCA Reader's Digest. So we've got Love Me Tender, Love Me You, Jailhouse Rock, King Creole, Wooden Heart, Return to Sender, Bossa Nova Baby, Viva Las Vegas, which doesn't really appear on the vinyl albums too much for some reason. Guitar Man. What movie was that one from, Guitar Man? I know that was quite a big hit. Not sure. Nice to have this one on RCA Reader's Digest. So that's one, 1975 this one came out. Same year as that 40 Golden Greats LP. Next one is from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. Again, a nice cover. Don't know too many about this one as well. I'll need to kind of listen to this one, but he does quite a few songs that I recognise from different places. He does Danny Boy, which a couple people I know have done. Roy Orbison and Johnny Cash have done that song. He does The Last Farewell, which is originally Roger Whittaker, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, I do recognise a couple of songs from other people singing them, but I've never heard Elvis, and I'm quite interested to hear how he does them. This was like recorded at his home and studio in Graceland, because by 1975, 76, he began to lose interest in going to the studio for some reason. So what they did was, at his home in Graceland, they set up a home studio, recording studio, in what was called the Jungle Room in his home in Graceland, and he was able to make recordings from he could just make recordings from his home in Graceland rather than just go to the RCA studios. So yeah, another nice one to have. This is 1976, so one of the last Elvis ones to come out in his life. And, well, second last, because this next one was the last. Moody Blue, a really good album. This came out in 1977, and it's a really great album. I really enjoyed it. It's like half live, half studio album, because some of the ones he did in one of his last tours in 77, there's like Unchained Melody, I really like that one. He'll Have to Go, Let Me Be There, Way Down's great, so is Moody Blue, She Thinks I Still Care. A lot of really great stuff in this album from 1977. It's just standard black, because I know there were versions in America that had it on blue vinyl, but this is just standard black. But good to have this album, Elvis Moody Blue 1977. And then after he passed, of course, the album was out just before he died, and then a few weeks later, August 16th, the world lost Elvis Presley, which was really a huge shock. But before that, on his last tour in the summer of 1977, they made CBS television had filmed 2 of his concerts of his final tour, and the resulting album was this, Elvis in Concert. A really good live album. I enjoy it, even if Elvis was not in peak health by this point. They've actually used photos. That, I think, is 1975, and that's like 1972 because he's got a blue jumpsuit on. So I'm kind of glad they used those later pictures, because if this had come out with photographs from 77, I think the public would have been shocked to see how he looked. And excuse me. And when you see the footage that's circulated of that tour, when this special aired on television, the public were shocked because of how he looked. He just looked bloated, and he just did not look good at all. And that's probably why that'll never come out on DVD. But it is available on YouTube if you want to watch it. But I like the versions of CC Rider, That's Right Mama, Are You Lonesome Tonight. Even if he forgets his words, it's still a good version. My Way, Can't Help Falling in Love. Little Sister, which is quite a rare one that Elvis often didn't do live. But it's pretty interesting to hear him do Little Sister. And yeah, really good album. Live album, double LP. And it's on RCA, like I say. And you even get like the soundtrack from the television special and additional songs recorded during that summer of '77 tour. So there's comments from the fans, and there's even a message from his father Vernon, because the special came out after Elvis died, so they made a message from Vernon from thanking all the fans for the support and sending cards. So yeah, quite a nice thing there, and that's a good live album. I've got another version of Elvis 40 Greatest. But this is a different cover. It's on RCA. It's got a very laminate sort of... I'll try and show you the full picture. There we go. The song's at the top here, and it's on pink vinyl, which is really nice. It's a quite nice spin on it. That's why I kind of got it to. Oh, it's colour vinyl. I got it a few years ago. I just thought it was colour vinyl. I thought, oh, that looks cool. I'll pick that up. I've got 2 or 3 more items to show out of the Elvis collection, and then we're done with the video. But just talk amongst yourselves while I'm sorting the records out. You know, get your drinks or snacks or whatever, and just enjoy the video while you're doing that. Next, I've got 20 love songs on K-Tel. Quite an interesting one. Quite a lot of good ones on here. Like It's Now or Never, She's Not You, Suspicious Minds, The Wonder of You, Can't Help Falling in Love, Always on My Mind, Love Me Tender, I Want You, I Need You, I Love You. That's a great one as well. Wooden Heart, Are You Lonesome Tonight. Some pretty interesting stuff on here. On K-Tel, there's the label there. K-Tel. This is 1979. So there's that one. And we've got this one, the all-time greatest hits of Elvis Presley. This is the final album I've got to show because I've got one more thing to show. Double album of his hits from like 1956 until 1977. Well, actually, There's Only Love, which was a posthumous single in 1980, so that's on here as well. Bit hard to see because it's quite red. It was released in 1987. It's the 10th anniversary of Elvis's death. On RCA. Some songs are mono, some songs are stereo. Like I think most of record 1 is mono. The first sort of 17 songs are mono, but the others are in stereo. So some songs are mono, but it's all mostly stereo. So mix of both sounds, I think. And there's a version of an American Trilogy in here, which I like, which was taken from the April 1972 tour. But the version of Suspicious Minds is a bit odd. It doesn't have the horns, so it sounds quite flat without the horns, and it cuts out, and it ends, because this song has like a fade out and then it fades back in, and then it fades out again, but this just fades out and it just ends. There's no horn, so I don't know what that mix is all about. It just, to me, it sounds flat without the horns, and without like the fade in, fade back. No, that mix doesn't do it for me. I prefer the original. And last thing I've got to show is one from a few years ago. Elvis Presley Greatest Hits box set. 6 LP set from Reader's Digest RCA. It's like a 6 LP box set of Elvis's music, and I got this a few years ago. Got it quite for a good price. So yeah, I picked it up because it was a good price. This was the period of time I wasn't a fan when I bought it, but it was good price. I thought I'll pick it up. It looks cool. Open up like this. You take the LPs out like so. So here's record 1 and all the songs there. Record 2. Three. Nice one. Yeah. 4, 5, and 6. And they all look like this. And one of the things about this one, and this is probably what attracted people to this set, was on the back cover you get each part of a photo of Elvis from like the 70s era with the jumpsuit photos, and you can, if you turn these albums, if you have these albums facing the back cover, you can make this into a picture, which I like that concept. I really think it's a really good idea. I thought that was pretty cool. So there we are, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope to make another vinyl update just before Christmas, because we are nearing the Christmas season, I am aware. And I hope to get more records in between and make a vinyl update before the end of the year. So if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.